Have you ever had like one of those moments where you have this, thought or idea and you're kind of hesitant to share it online?
Oh, yeah,
We
definitely.
all have those, right?
Absolutely.
So today, we're going to dive into a story about someone who actually not only overcame that hesitation, but also found that it really helped his career.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting here, this intersection between personal growth and professional success.
Right.
Um, and we're looking at a Medium article by Alexander Nguyen, who did this 100-day LinkedIn writing challenge.
Okay.
And we're going to kind of try to unpack the core lessons from his experience and what you can learn from it.
Yeah. So imagine this, 2020, Alexander is a recent university graduate. He's looking for a job.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And he admits he's not really the most outspoken person you know.
Right.
But he was inspired by The Power of Habit, this book,
Oh, yeah.
and he decides he wants to speak up more.
Okay.
And the platform he chose for this, LinkedIn. Yeah, and what's interesting is that at that point, he describes LinkedIn as like a space where nobody really knew who he was.
Wow.
So in a way, it felt like the stakes were lower for him.
Right, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it wasn't really career focused at first. It was more about personal development, overcoming that, reluctance to share his thoughts.
Right.
And he even said that this whole challenge, writing consistently on LinkedIn for 100 days, it felt a little weird,
Yeah, I can imagine.
kind of out there.
Absolutely.
He said that first time clicking that post button, it felt pretty scary.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that fear of putting yourself out there, online.
Oh, absolutely.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
To make sure he's stuck with it,
Mm.
to solidify his commitment.
Mm.
Alexander ended every single post with a number, counting up to 100.
Oh, wow.
He would say like, day 1 or day 50.
Really?
Yeah, so it was like a public declaration.
That's a really cool strategy.
Right. He was putting it out there for everyone to see.
Mm.
And he even remembers his very first post, day 1. But we don't know exactly what he said.
I see, I see.
But just imagine the, impact of that numbering system.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's super powerful.
Right.
It's like that psychological thing about commitment and consistency,
Exactly.
By publicly tracking his progress,
Yeah.
he created a visual reminder of his goal.
Yeah.
So it made it harder to just give up.
Yeah, and it's about building that momentum through small, visible steps.
Right.
But here's the really crazy part. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, yeah. What is it?
He says now that he never worries about finding a job.
Wow.
That's like a total shift in his mindset.
What a change.
And it makes you think like, what happened during those 100 days of writing that gave him so much career security?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's look at the bigger picture, how this impacted him.
Okay.
He basically turned LinkedIn from this passive platform into this active engine for opportunity.
Interesting.
Yeah, and even though he didn't start with a huge network,
Yeah.
he was creating content consistently, and that made him visible to people who were interested in what he had to say.
That makes sense.
And it wasn't just about him putting his ideas out there, it was also about building connections through shared ideas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So he faced that initial fear of sharing his thoughts, but by doing it again and again,
Right.
not only did he overcome the fear, he also accidentally built this professional presence.
Wow.
And that really shows how consistent small actions can lead to, these huge unexpected results.
I love that.
And it's amazing how many people he reached eventually.
Really?
Yeah, he said he got 41,000 followers on LinkedIn and then 220,000 across all platforms.
Wow, that's a lot.
Right. And even his very first post got over 1,000 responses. So he was clearly onto something.
Right, from the beginning.
Exactly. And that kind of visibility naturally leads to more career opportunities.
Yeah.
So what we've learned today is that dedicating yourself to sharing your perspective consistently, even on a professional platform like LinkedIn,
Right.
it can really have a big impact on your career and your confidence in your field.
Totally. I think the big takeaway is that platforms like LinkedIn are more than just job boards.
Yeah.
They're places where you can build influence and show off your thinking over time.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's something for you to think about. What's one small thing you could do consistently
Okay.
to share your own expertise or insights, in your field?
Mm-hmm.
And what unexpected doors could that open for you in the future?
That's a great question to consider.
It's really worth thinking about how a focused and sustained effort could change your professional life.
Absolutely.
You never know what might happen.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the exciting part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's all the time we have for today on this deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.